if you'd prefer comfy sweats to Spanx. To all other plans, just say no thanks. Come snuggle up, grab a blankie, and then you'll be all ready for a girls' night in. Girls' night in.
Hey, girl.
Good afternoon, and welcome back to G&I.
G&I.
Laney, Eileen, what you got on today?
Well, for those who are not watching us on YouTube,
Which you can.
that's fine. We've got our sashes.
Hello. What does yours say?
Junior Miss Girl and wait, what is it?
Yeah, yours
Junior Miss Girls Night In.
We're Miss Girls Night In and Junior Miss Girls Night In.
And we do have our Statue of Liberty tiara. If you guys are putting the pieces together, I think you know what we're talking about today.
Yes, what are we speaking of? Miss Congeniality.
When the FBI needs an undercover agent,
The bombers picked another target.
We have ourselves a national emergency.
It's the Miss United States pageant.
the only man for the job is a woman.
You do a few butt-shaping exercises, you tighten this up, you could pull this off.
You know what? Pull this off. Let's go, girls.
These people want to put one of their agents in the pageant.
Do you have an agent in mind? Sorry.
She doesn't look the part,
There's no way on earth that I can make this woman ready in 2 days. She's Dirty Harriet.
she doesn't act the part,
Come on, have some midnight John, some girl talk.
We can't have pizza and beer.
It's light beer, and she's gonna throw it up anyway.
she doesn't want the part,
I'm not gonna parade around in a swimsuit like some airhead bimbo.
Describe your perfect date.
I'd have to say April 25th.
but she's about to prove anything is possible.
I have gel in my hair, I haven't slept all night, I'm starved, and I'm armed. Don't mess with me.
This December,
You're doing a great job.
You think I'm cool? Just you wanna date me?
get ready
Gun! Gun! Everybody down!
for the new face of the FBI,
Of course he had a gun. This is Texas. Everybody has a gun. My florist has a gun.
Miss Congeniality.
Guys, this was a fun one. Well, I say that with a little bit of hesitation. Lou, what did we just finish doing?
Well, we just finished filming 2 TikToks, and it was, I don't know if you've ever filmed a TikTok before, but
No.
it's really stressful
It
and
is.
not fun.
Mm.
And especially if you're not
A dancer?
natural dancer.
Right. Oh, that's a nice way of saying if you're not naturally gifted.
If you don't know how to naturally move with rhythm, we struggled.
Which I don't have rhythm, and I don't have rhythm for a really good reason.
'Cause you're Catholic?
I was born out of the rhythm method.
Yeah.
See, I was born out of rhythm. That's
But the
what
thing
just
is, like,
happened.
we both have been in dancing experiences before. Like, you were a cheerleader. I did dance for years, but like for me, like,
Cheerleader for 1 year.
yeah, I was the girl that was, they were like, put her in the far back corner and like hide some people in front of her. But I tried.
Not true.
No, it is. It is. And it's okay. I know
You
who
what?
I am.
We did it for the costumes.
Of course. That's the best part.
I only wanted the outfit.
Literally. And I still have all of them. Can I fit into them? No, but I have them.
No. Quick little story. I'll say it really fast. When I was growing up, we didn't have the money for me to take dance classes. So when Elena was a little toddler and Grandma Star was paying for her to get her dance lessons as her gifts, Grandma Star and I decided that we were going to take dance lessons for adults. Filled out the paperwork, stood there for 45 minutes, filled out the check, and then we found out that you didn't get the cute black patent leather lace-up shoes when you're an adult. You had to get the nude color. And so we quit. We never even took
They
the first.
just wanted the patent
We
leather
just
shoes.
wanted the shoes.
Yep.
So I come by it honestly. That was your grandma.
Priorities.
You got to have your priorities,
hello.
right? And I'm sorry, but is it not just fun wearing a crown?
It's so fun. I think I'm going to wear this when I work. And then when I get on my video calls, I'll just like take it off and then put it back on when it's over. Just feel like a princess.
I love it. Okay, so today we are talking about Miss Congeniality. It is the 2000 version, starring, of course, our wonderful, amazing Sandra Bullock.
Sandy girl.
Gosh, we love her. I'm going to go ahead and right out the bat, I'm going to give you some stats before we have Elena give you the summary. Rotten Tomatoes for my sweet Greggles. It came in at 41% for reviews, for critics' reviews, and 69%. That's our highest yet, I think. in fan reviews, which makes sense. I have a couple of trivia things for you later. We're going to do some trivia, so stick around if you're a Sandra Bullock fan or a Miss America fan or an Us fan. All right, the budget for this film was $45 million. The box office intake, want to guess?
Over 100, multiple hundreds.
212.8.
Okay, cool.
212.8. By the way, one of the things I'm going to ask you later is how much have the Sandra Bullock movies pulled in all together worldwide?
Oh, I could not guess that because I don't know how money works.
Can you? We'll find out. Okay, we're going to find out. All right, Elena, let's talk about the rest of the cast. We've got William Shatner. Love, love, love William Shatner.
Just so good.
We've got Candace Bergen, Hollywood royalty. Benjamin Bratt. I wanted to ask you, do you remember what else he's been in?
Oh God.
The FBI agent.
I so know he's in something else.
Something that you and Greg very much enjoyed and just finished watching all the way through.
Parenthood? This Is Us?
Modern Family.
Who is he in
He's
Modern
Manny's
Family?
real biological father.
Oh.
Javier. I forgot about that.
I think I had looked that up. I was like, why is he so familiar? And I had seen that, but it's been a hot second.
Heather Burns plays character Cheryl. And babe, what other movie were Sandra Bullock and Heather Burns in?
2 Weeks Notice.
Good girl. Okay, honey. You take it away with our summary because then we can get into who plays who.
All right, guys. So we start the movie. First of all, do not remember it starting this way, but we start the movie with young Grace Hart, who is a little bit of an outcast. She's a tomboy. She's pretty tough. We see her defending a young little boy who's being bullied, and she kicks the bully's butt. And then the little boy she's defending was like, great, thanks a lot. I need a girl to stick up for me, blah, blah, blah. So she can just never win, right?
Nope.
So then we see her as an adult. She's working for the FBI. You know, she has these good intentions, but she continues to mess up these investigations. And I've just been I'm just already an emotional person. I don't know. I'm like crying watching these scenes where she's messing things up. I'm like, because then she goes home and she lives by herself and, you know, she doesn't have anybody. She's making microwave meals every night. And, you know, she's kind of like the laughing stock at her job. And
don't start crying now because your makeup's impeccable. Impeccable.
She's like the butt of every joke. So basically, she messes up this one big investigation, and she's basically on probation. Like her boss is like, you are on thin ice. You're going to be doing paperwork for weeks. Well, all the while this investigation is going on, these death threat letters are being sent, all from the same person. They're trying to figure out who this person is. And Grace, Sandra, happens to be really talented with decoding these kinds of messages. So she, even though, you know, they're saying you can't work on this case, like you need to be doing paperwork, she keeps trying to weasel her way into this case because she has really good intuition with it. Well, eventually Eric, who is her teammate, that they're kind of like competitive with one another, he gets the lead of this case. She's kind of putting a bug in his ear on things that she thinks might be going on. He's kind of playing it off like they're his own ideas. Classic, like, toxic masculinity going on here. Well, eventually they realize this is all tied to the Miss Universe, Miss America pageant.
It's Miss United States.
Miss United States pageant.
A made up compilation of Miss America and Miss USA, but it's Miss United States.
Because she's beauty and she's great. She's Miss United States.
That's right.
So they're like, okay, we need an FBI officer who's, you know, under 30 and somewhat pretty to go and be in the pageant and to be our eyes and our ears. Well, it turns out that Grace is the only available lady. So they do some
within
convincing.
The age range.
Mind you, this whole time, she's kind of a mess. Like her hair, she doesn't own a brush. Like she eats with her mouth open. She's a little bit sloppy.
She does what I do when she laughs.
Yeah, she's a little snorter.
She's got a little snort.
So they're like, how are we going to turn her into a beauty queen? Well, then we run into
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine is her pageant consultant. They've already hooked up with the network. Like she's in. She needs to get into the top 5, I believe.
Yes.
To have the access she needs to have surveillance everywhere. So they have to guarantee she'll be there. So she has to be convincing. So Michael Caine is her pageant consultant. Their relationship is so sweet to watch. There's this amazing makeover montage that it's
so much fun. Do you want to know what I looked up?
What?
This movie was actually made right before Princess Diaries. So this makeover montage, I wonder if it didn't inspire the Princess Diaries montage, because it's sort of similar.
It is. It really, in like the curly brown hair and then this to
unibrow.
Yeah, unibrow. So all that to say, she gets in and now she's making friends and doing this investigation at this pageant. And so eventually it's her, like, not only is she trying to identify who this villain is, but at the same time her heart is softening to these women. And she had been very against pageants, but we get to watch it unfold as she changes her thought process on it.
Very nice.
Thanks.
Yet again, love it. Okay, so you've got Candace Bergen is the coordinator of the Miss United States pageant. William Shatner plays the co-host along with her of the pageant, and he is so funny. It kind of reminds me of, if you haven't seen Arrested Development, which is such a brilliant television show that's you can get on Netflix, I think. It reminds me of the guy that played Fonzie. Can't remember his name right now. Henry Winkler. And how he was kind of serious in Happy Days. Well, you know what I mean by that. But then he's so funny in Arrested Development. That's how I feel about William Shatner in this. For all those years on Star Trek. And I mean, it was campy, but he is dead on funny in this movie.
He's so good. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yes. So like she mentioned, Eric is Gracie's partner, and that's Benjamin Bratt. Would you like to guess? You won't be able to, I don't think, because it's not somebody from your generation, who was originally meant to play that role, and then they replaced him with Benjamin Bratt, was Matt Dillon. Do you know who that is?
I know that name, but I can't put a face to it.
He's the guy from Something About Mary that...
the creepy bald one?
The other one. The other one that, like, is the investigator, the private eye investigator that they hire that goes down there and he gets his teeth capped and all that.
I barely remember.
Okay,
I'll
so
have to
anyway,
look it up.
You girls out there who are my age know who Matt Dillon is. We used to have crushes on him. Then Heather Burns playing Cheryl. I think she does such a good job of being a nondescript ditz. Like, you don't hate her.
Oh,
even,
yeah.
Even though
she's not a bimbo.
She's not a bimbo.
She's just pure.
One of my favorite parts of the whole thing, this is towards the end, is when they're saying what all the contestants do.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I didn't even pick up on this the first few times we watched it, but it's like, and this is Miss New Jersey?
Rhode Island.
Miss Rhode Island, and she's
neuroscience and microbiology major. You're like, hello?
What?
How?
Because this whole time she's been such a dingling. Oh, she's so endearing is a good word.
Very sweet and good-hearted. She deserved to win, which she does. Spoiler.
Yep, she sure does. And not with any help, which is not true for our friend Gracie Lou Freebush.
Gracie Lou Freebush.
Elena Eileen, if you were going to be a pageant queen, what would your name be?
I was thinking something like Sissy May.
Oh, Sissy.
Sissy.
And where would you be from?
Probably Tennessee.
Oh, Sissy May.
From Tennessee.
Is May your last name? Or is that your middle name?
Middle name.
So it'd be like Sissy May Butterbottom.
How did you think of
From Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Very nice. So, critics. What critics said. Though critics say that Bullock is funny and charming, she can't overcome a bad script that makes the movie feel too much like a fluffy, unoriginal sitcom.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all.
Once again, we're at odds with our critic review. However, audience review on a scale of A to F, A-. So in your face, okay? We enjoyed it. Doesn't matter.
And that's what makes the money. Isn't that what it's about at the end of the day? I mean, yes, to make art, but like, hello, clearly it did well in the box office.
It's so very true that it came in number 26 that year in 2000 when it released on Christmas weekend, which is cool. So Elena, I wanted to do a little side notes before we jump into more about the movie itself. And I wanted to ask you if you could tell me what you think Sandra Bullock's #1 movie moneymaker was.
Oh, gosh. She's been in so many. Not Yaya Sisterhood, because no one knows what it is.
As a matter of fact, that's number 20.
I feel like in my mind, Miss Congeniality is her biggest movie. Like that's like when I think Sandra Bullock, this is the movie I think of. But maybe like The Blind Side was really popular.
She won for that. She got an Academy Award for The Blind Side.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I mean, Hope Floats. There's some movies she's in where it's like Practical Magic. But again, all these ones are like obscure that we love and other people are like, what?
It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, kind of all right. Number 1 for money is The Minions.
Who is she in The Minions?
I don't know. Apparently, she's the supervillain in the first spinoff.
I have no.
1 point something billion that movie brought in.
Okay, but the latest Minion movie, guys, it's cute.
Is it so cute?
I don't want to overhype, but like we went and saw it in the theaters.
I'm down with that. I love a good movie theater. You know what? I'll do it just for the candy and the popcorn. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's like a baseball game.
The number 1 that she starred in was Gravity. Now, did you ever see it?
I can't handle things like that. No. It gives me anxiety.
I saw it with my Rehoboth Beach guys. So Kathy, Mel, and Beth and I went to see it. I got to tell you, I think they said something like there's less than 16 minutes of actual interactive dialogue.
Yeah.
Interactive dialogue. That brought in 700 and something, 83 million or something like that. So that is her number 1 moneymaker, closely followed by Speed.
I didn't even know she was in that. See, these are all serious movies.
Speed is a great flick, man. It came out and that was her first real movie role with Keanu Reeves. 3 is The Proposal.
Oh, I love The Proposal.
It. If you've not seen The Proposal, just from a visual, like scenery standpoint, it made me want to go to Alaska.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, Betty White. We miss you. We love you.
R.I.P. Sweet Betty. Then The Blind Side. I'm surprised that number 5 is Ocean 8. Have you seen it?
It's good. We watched it together.
Yes. Okay.
I liked it.
That must have been pre-sober Kira. Mm-hmm. Then The Heat, which has my special friend, Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa M.M.?
M.M., that little sweet woman. Anyway, so Miss Congeniality came in at 7. Okay. But then she's got a whole list of other stuff that come in before Divine, Secrets of Yaya Sisterhood at 20, and Practical Magic, which we will be revisiting in October.
It's spooky season.
Woo! That's right. Just wanted to give a little nod to Miss Congeniality 2. Oh, Greggles. Miss Congeniality 2, 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's not as good as the first.
No.
Nowhere near as good. I still will watch it if it's on, but like,
yeah,
it just makes me miss the first movie whenever I watch it.
Yeah. 43% audience rating, but 16% critics review, man. So, you know, it's one of those, it's a rainy day and you literally can't find anything. It's fun to just pop some popcorn and have some candy, but it's not, I wouldn't call it a must-see.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry to say.
No, sorry.
She does, Sandra Bullock, side note, does own a production company of her own that did Miss Congeniality.
Wow.
And it did several movies, a lot of movies before 2009. Then there's this gap, which I'm assuming comes from her having her sweet babies join her life.
Oh.
And then she didn't do anything again until The Unforgiven, which, have you seen that yet?
No.
Oh, so hard to watch, but beautiful performance. And then The Lost City, which we just watched recently.
Oh.
We thought it was so cute.
Guys, it's really cute.
It's so worth
definitely
it.
like Rent at Home, but we were surprised how much we liked it.
So much fun. We really, really enjoyed it. Okay, so Elena, tell us about what you love about the movie or anything that you had.
So I've got a few notes that I took down. The first one I already mentioned. I just every time I watch this movie, when it starts the way it does, I'm like, oh yeah. Like it starts with her as a kid and then it starts with the investigation with the Russians. And I'm like, oh. So that always catches me off guard. Another big thing that stood out to me was the blatant sexual harassment. That especially when she is at the police academy or police station, which I'm assuming is
FBI headquarters.
I'm assuming it's to show us that there probably is a lot of sexual discrimination in those male-dominated industries. So I think they did a good job of
now, mind you,
that.
we're looking at 22 years ago.
Yeah,
so we got to cut the industry a little slack.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I feel like this is 2000. You said
2000.
I feel like that was the height of toxic masculinity, where it was like women were so sexualized. Like the media was so cool with like just super sexualizing women, but then there was still this like just derogatory. There's
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and a lot of like body stuff for women. Like, you know, we had the low-rise jeans and like the little crop tops, which are now coming back in style. But it just was hard to be a woman.
Really good point. And I would think that that's right when the tide started turning with a whole lot more women entering the workforce. So maybe the men were feeling a little bit more threatened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a really good point. Go ahead.
Another one is when Miss Morningside is doing this speech about how it's a scholarship program, and she's getting up out of her chair, and then when she's doing her speech, there is like perfect placement of a picture of a crown behind her head that
was
I just
done
think
on purpose.
Yeah, I thought that was really clever. I said Sandra does a great job of being disgusting. The makeover scene is everything. What does it say? The music, the way she keeps falling in her heels. Oh, the part when she says Jesus Christ, and she goes, I forgot to thank God for my bagel and schmear. And they're all like, oh.
That is literally one of my top 3 moments of that movie. Was hilarious.
Like, I love how everyone just goes along with it. They're like, oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Of course. Gotta pray.
Yeah, and then I said Eric sucks.
Yeah, he's a character that you just kind of like, really? You're going to like this guy?
Like, the whole time he's like, toxic masculinity towards her, claiming condescending, claiming all her ideas as her own, which I guess they're trying to express the whole like pulling your pigtail because they like you kind of thing. But like, he literally is so mean to her up until the point where he's like, yeah, actually I like you, and kisses her at the very end. Like, I'm not surprised they're not together in the second movie. Just saying.
You know what? I wonder if that's not a result of feedback from the audience saying, would she really end up with him, because he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah. And my last note is just, did you ever feel this way when you got married? Like, one of the things when I got married, you know, life changes a lot, but the thing that really affected me was I will never be Miss America now, because you can't. I would only have to be a Mrs. America.
That's right. Oh, I see. And it's
I
not
don't
as
want to be a
prestigious.
I want to be a Miss America.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. My answer to your question is yes, Elena. Now, let me tell you why. I always dreamed of being in pageants. Okay. Now, first off, don't know if I would have ever been attractive enough or skinny enough to have been in those pageants, but it would have 100,000% been against Grandma Star's values. I was not even allowed to have a Barbie because she did not like the image that projected. I was obsessed with watching the Miss America, Miss USA pageants. And I would stand in front of the mirror and fake all the questions. I had this great friend at Disney when I worked at Disney, when we were hourly employees and we would both stand at registers. And if it was slow, he would ask me questions like I was Miss America, and I would have to answer it in character. That's what we did when we were bored. It was fabulous. Fabulous time. So I always had that kind of I was like, oh man, that must be the neatest thing in the whole world to not even beginning to imagine what we found out later on when they were doing documentaries, you know, what that kind of pressure and that kind of stuff.
And a lot of the women in the Miss America, it's like they've been doing this since they're 3.
Yeah.
Like, they have been training for years. So silly little us, we're like 18, like maybe we can enter no pageant experience at all, like just thinking it's something you wake up and do, like I would.
Slap on an old prom dress and a dollar store tiara and call yourself Miss Peanut Oil, and you can enter into the next one not knowing any of the stuff that goes behind it. In my generation, I looked this up because I was so fascinated by it, because in the film, we are going to get to the film, that Miss Texas is one of those characters where you just are like, she's kind of a mean girl.
Yeah, just like she's over everybody. She's not here to make friends. Like,
no, she's here to win. And I can remember when Elena and I watched this the first time. Do you have any recollection of how old you were?
Oh gosh, I feel like I was probably young, like 7 maybe.
Yeah, I would agree, probably somewhere around there. And I've said it every time we watch it since, that I was like, oh, Texas, it's always Texas. Well, then I looked it up, and it ends up that in between 1985 and 89, Texas swept every Miss USA in 5 years. They were all, and that would have been the years that I was glued to that television set. actually, in one of those years, they would show you the scores as they popped up, and I would write them down so I could try and figure out who's going to be in the top. I was obsessed.
You were a big ice skater girl. You were a big cheerleader girl, big pageant girl.
Yes.
And all of those I feel like kind of relate to each other a little bit.
And I wasn't in any of it. I mean, I did 1 year of whatever. I wasn't in any
cheerleader.
of it.
And a theater girl.
And a theater girl, a little bit, not a whole lot. Okay, I want to revisit a couple of things you said.
Okay.
So I thought this was cute. Sandra Bullock said that she spent 30 minutes in hair and makeup when she was Gracie, the FBI agent.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only time they spent on her hair and makeup.
Right.
For the makeover scene, 2.5 hours.
Every time she had to film for
And
it.
here's this gorgeous woman, absolutely stunning, right? Who she remind us of?
Aunt Lisa.
Aunt Lisa.
Same bone structure, I'm telling you. Same face.
The scene you were talking about when she's back at the apartment after she has this horrible experience at the beginning of the movie where she makes a big mistake at the bust of this Russian drug lord and ends up getting someone shot, not killed, but shot. And so now she's just really upset. She goes home and she's kickboxing. The kickboxing part of that scene is the only thing scripted. Everything else, she actually tripped over the bed. The microwave she ad-libbed, all of that was Sandra Bullock.
That's so good.
Isn't that so good?
She's so talented.
When she got out of the car for the premiere of the movie, she tripped. It was not on purpose. So she claims she's just this clumsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the start because people talk, like on Sleepover Cinema, they talk a lot about like the clumsy girl trope that was like really popular around like the 2010s. Like you think
It's
of
so true.
Jennifer Lawrence, the girl from
Yes.
like I'm just awkward and clumsy. Like I feel like that was the start of that. It was
Oops.
Miss Congeniality. It's just like I'm just quirky and clumsy. Oh, I'll fall.
We roll right in from that scene when she's frustrated with this till, like Elena said, they're discussing at the FBI, who do we think is sending all these death threats, that there's going to be some sort of a terrorist act. And they are figuring out that it's going to be at this Miss United States pageant. They put Sandra Bullock in it. They do the makeover scene. Now Michael Caine has got to do work with her while she's sort of investigating. So the scene where she meets these girls for the first time, and like Elena said, she's not a big fan. She's not looking forward to this.
She is like feminist, like super not girly, like she thinks it's a joke. She the whole time when she's prepping for it, she's making fun of it, like she's practicing her acceptance and she's like, if I only had a brain. Like it's really funny.
Oh, yeah, it's all really good. And she's watching old footage to try and get into it and everything. And so then she kind of falls into this bond. Elena, tell us about the knock on the door for our little friend when our little friend Cheryl's at the door.
She's so cute. This is why she wins, because she's so pure of heart. And she's like, I've been asking all the girls if they want some of my hot chocolate. I didn't get a chance to tell them it's non-fat. And meanwhile, Sandra's like spitting it out of her mouth. She's like, hot. It's hot.
And poor Sandra Bullock's character is rooming with Miss Texas.
I'm in the middle of a REM cycle here.
Yeah, she's having none of it. So they kind of bond over this little hot chocolate moment, and you sort of see Sandra Bullock start to soften because she kind of smiles as Cheryl's walking away like, what a cute little person, you know, a little bit dismissive. But things are ramping up. They're getting the letters are coming faster and faster, and they have no answer to who is performing all this and sending all these threatening mail. Or letters, because this is pre-email. Would it be pre-email? No, it's not. It's in the early stages of that kind of stuff. So at that point, who did you think it was?
I never guessed. Well, also when I watched it, I was 7, so like I didn't have a concept of like forming like, oh, who could it be? Like, you know, so I never guessed it was Morningside. So I don't know. I didn't have a guess. I didn't think it was anyone we had seen.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was just some bad guy out somewhere.
So the girls indicate that they found out that William Shatner's character has been let go from the show. He's going to be forced to retire. So that Gracie and Eric are kind of thinking maybe he's kind of getting revenge. Then they find out that Miss Morningside, Candace Bergen's character.
We find out that she was runner-up, but then mysteriously the winner got food poisoning, so she had to take her duties or whatever it was.
Oh, that's right.
So then now we're like, oh, she has a dark side.
A dark side. And they found out later on that she was also going to get let go. So you've got these kind of suspects going on. But in the midst of this, you've got the rehearsals for the dance and she and Michael. Oh, which, by the way, guess what? Sandra Bullock purposefully missed the rehearsals with the cast when they were rehearsing the dance. So that when they did the rehearsal scene,
she was like,
she wouldn't know it. I thought that was kind of smart.
Yeah.
I like it. So then there's all these scenes with Michael Caine where they're practicing her interview questions, her talent. What does she end up doing for talent, Lou?
She's supposed to do the water glasses, but then some of the girls got thirsty, so they drank her talent. So she goes on and teaches self-defense, which is actually really charming, and everyone loves it, which is cool to see.
Now, she does do the water glasses when they do the prelims.
Yes, yeah.
And but I did want to tell you, somebody in the preliminary, did you notice the girl that was doing the balloon animals to music?
Yeah.
She is from the Real Housewives of Dallas.
Oh my gosh.
There's a little trivia for you.
But that was before the show.
Yeah. This was before Real Housewives.
That's so interesting.
Okay, well, what happens at the prelim?
She thinks she sees someone with a gun, so she like flying squirrels out into the audience to get him, and she has to make up some excuse as to why, because it wasn't the villain. So she's like, I saw him going for a cigarette, and I'm just really against smoking. We really got to fix that issue in our country. And everyone's like, well, think twice before we light up.
The best part is she's got on this costume.
It's Bavarian.
It's like a milkmaid costume. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so that's one of my favorite parts too. So they still don't have an answer to what's going on, and we're getting closer and closer to the actual pageant. And she does this flubbaloo, and now she's in trouble again with the FBI. They're like, you still are making mistakes. You can't get this right. And
they think they found the guy, and she knows it's not him.
Yeah. She takes the girls out for pizza, convinces them to let their hair down. They have some beers. They have some little test tube shot things.
That looks so fun, by the way.
The painting
and the test tube shots. I'm like, I want to go there.
They had those at Disney when I worked there. Did they not have those at Disney?
You had Pleasure Island.
I did have Pleasure Island.
It's not
you
fair.
Did not. I'm so sorry. It was amazing. You're right. They go out to this club where you play drums filled with paint, splatter paint. Looked like so much fun.
Yeah.
Because at the time, our sweet little Cheryl is on the hot seat. They think maybe she's the one because she was involved in some sort of a protest.
Yeah, and that's when we get our line from her, the April 25th, because as she's saying this in backstage, Eric is saying to Sandra, he's like, oh, we think she's a suspect. And she says the April 25th thing. She's saying this, and Sandra's like, yeah, that's your guy.
She's the mastermind behind all that, probably not knowing that she's a neurophysicist. Or whatever that was. We move forward, and they think they've caught the guy. So they're packing up to leave. And Sandra Bullock comes back from this night, and she's like, I'm telling you, I just found out that Kathy Morningside's assistant, Frank, is her son. And I think it's him. I think he's the bad guy.
Multiple DUIs, like all these drug charges, sexual charges. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that she thinks that he's working together with his mom, who we now know is going to get kicked off the show too, to end the Miss United States pageant. So we find ourselves with the whole FBI team gone. Now they're pulling Michael Caine. So sweet Sandra Bullock's character has no one to help her get ready. So what happens?
It's so sweet. Her girls, like, she goes backstage and she's like, okay, which one is lipstick? And they're like, okay, girls, let's go. They all like gather around her and do her hair and makeup. And it's so sweet. Like, it kind of shows you the overview of her realizing like these women are so kind and so amazing and just the best people. And so it's cool to see them gather around her and be selfless. Like, they're supposed to be getting ready themselves, but they're taking that precious time and helping her, which is so sweet.
Hey, if you've ever been in pageants, tell us if that's even a thing that might have happened, or if you think that that's completely just unrealistic.
Yeah, in the comments below, if you're a pageant person
Oh,
or have
let
been
us
in a pageant,
know.
tell us what the culture is like and how accurate Miss Congeniality is. Because I don't know for sure, but I feel like they're more nice in Miss Congeniality than they probably are in real life.
And I have a couple of aesthetic questions for you. Can you really use hairspray to stick your bathing suit to your bum?
Yeah.
Does Preparation H really take away your baggies under your eyes? Which I think the answer is
I've heard
yes.
that's true.
I've heard that's true.
Yeah.
And then the chicken cutlet breast thing.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious
I've
about
seen
that.
people use those as well.
You have?
Theater.
Oh,
Come on, baby.
Okay, sorry. All right. Well, anyway, we still want to know if you were involved in any sort of pageant stuff because we just think that's super cool. Maybe you could share with us some pageant horror stories.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Woo!
Yes.
We would love to hear that one. We could do a little add-on,
Yeah, a little Q&A.
a little Q&A.
Yeah.
We fast forward to when they're at the actual pageant, and then they've got on their lovely outfits.
Which, you guys, we tried to make our own, like, full-on. I say we. Mom tried to make our own full-on Statue of Liberty costumes.
Listen,
and
I think I'm going to start a GoFundMe page for G&I because the $20 sheets that I ruined to make our togas, we'll accept donations.
we'll
for
find
that.
another, like, use for
That's
them.
when I miss Grandma Star. She would have totally funded
Oh,
G&I,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not
She
the
would have been
only
our
time I
biggest
miss Grandma Star. That
sponsor.
sounded awful. Grandma Star could have been our sponsor. That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we did try and wear the outfits and everything. First off, very hard to dance in.
Yeah.
They were slipping down in places that would not be appropriate for family friendly podcasts.
The
I guess
TikTok
nobody
would have got removed.
Yeah. Would have gotten taken
Flagged.
down.
Yeah.
Still might for other reasons. You know what I'm saying. So where was it? Oh, they have on their cute little outfits and they do their little dance.
It's so good. It's so iconic.
That
love
song, One in a Million. Hold on.
1 in a million.
It won for something.
Oh, really?
It did.
I'm surprised.
It won. Oh, shnikes. I'm not going to be able to find it now. But it won an award.
Wow.
They go through the whole thing. She's rigged to get in the top 5, so she does, along with, of course, Texas.
And when Cheryl's so surprised that she's in the top 5, she's like, her reactions are so good. Especially since she did the April 25th thing, she was really worried, like, well, now I'm not going to make it to the top 5.
Well, and let's just give a shout out to, of course, she's from Rhode Island. You know, the smallest population, tiniest state.
Has Rhode Island ever won Miss
I don't know.
America?
I will tell you that I looked up Miss America, and top 2 Miss America is California and New York.
Okay.
And I think they're also Oklahoma and Ohio are also within. They've all had 6 winners or something like that. But that's different than Miss USA, where it's Texas. It's always Texas.
Okay.
It's the hair, man. I'm telling you.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
So they make it into the top 5. Eventually, it ends up being just Sandra Bullock and Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens?
At this point, Sandra has realized the bomb is in the crown. So she's trying to, at this point, Michael Caine has come back. He felt convicted of, like, we need to go help her. Same with Eric. So they team up and come back. They're backstage and she's looking at them like, it's in the crown. And Michael Caine's like, you are the crown. Be the crown. And she's like, no. So this scene is so crazy because Cheryl wins. It's Sandra is runner up and Cheryl wins, and she is like trying to get the crown off Cheryl's head because it's about to blow up.
Like
and
she's actively trying to rip it, and Cheryl's using her bouquet of flowers.
she's swatting. Everyone is like coming after Sandra, like trying to block her. Like
because they think she's just jealous.
Yeah, security's trying to get her. She breaks their nose. Texas tries to stop her. She breaks her nose. Texas falls into the audience. Like, it's so chaotic.
Meanwhile, Frank is trying to push the button to explode it, and Eric comes in and gets it out of his hands, and it falls down, and Morningside, Candace Bergen,
Herself
has it in her hand when Sandra Bullock is trying to pull it off her head.
Throws it up towards this huge Fabergé Statue of Liberty.
What is that Fabergé?
What is that called?
What's it called?
Paper mache.
Paper mache. Fabergé is an egg.
Fabergé egg.
Paper mache, Statue of Liberty.
Throws it up and it blows up and everyone's like, and Cheryl's crying. The way she cries is like a 3-year-old. Like it's so funny. And this whole time,
William Shatner.
he continues to sing the song.
She's beauty and she's grace, and all this chaos is
Everyone's
going on.
screaming, crying. There's fire, and he's just like singing. So then, when it cuts afterwards, he's being interviewed on the steps, and he's like, "So I was singing my song."
Like that's what he's upset about, is that this happened while he was trying to sing. So they arrest the bad guys, and how does it wrap up, Elena?
So Morningside gets hers, and it's so cute when Sandra's putting her in the police car, and she's like, "You ruined my pageant," and Sandra's like, "It's a scholarship program." I just love that she corrects her like that. So then we cut to the next morning, and Sandra's like headed out. She's leaving. Oh, also her and Eric kiss. We don't care about that. Whatever, they kiss.
That's a side note.
So she's leaving the next day, and Michael Caine's like, "Oh, Grace, you have to come quick. There's some other issue. We need you right now." And they trick her into going to the brunch the next day, and they crown her Miss Congeniality.
And then she says, "I really do want world peace."
It's so, I have chills right now thinking about that scene because she does such a good job. She's like, "I'm genuinely so touched and honored." And like the whole time, I'm like, boo. And she wraps it up with the, "I really do want world peace." And it's
because
so
that's
sweet.
how everybody answers all those pageant questions.
World peace.
World peace. We were going to talk about how much money altogether have Sandra Bullock movies pulled in. I want to. You don't want to hazard any kind of a guess, huh?
I don't understand how money works. I don't think you understand. I would guess, like, are we saying hundreds of millions?
$4.8 billion this woman's movies have brought in.
Get that bag, Sandy.
Come on now, girl.
Come
now,
on.
I did a little research to find out where she falls as far as women in the movie, actresses, and their net worth. Now, this is interesting. I don't know if Ren Roberts is listening right now, because he will be floored when he finds out the number one actress net worth. Now, before I tell you, let me just tell you, her net worth, the number one net worth, is because of her marriage. So it's not by what they've earned just from acting.
Okay, because my guess for that would be like Meryl Streep.
It's not. First off, it's Jamie Gertz.
I don't even know.
Ren Roberts. Do you remember Jamie Gertz? Yeah, from Lost Boys. And it's because she married into this. She's worth $2 billion. Oh my goodness. Reese.
Oh, Reese.
Reese, Jennifer Aniston, Julia Roberts, Nicole Kidman, Sandra Bullock.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Elena, do we want to give a hint about what we're going to do next? Now, listen up, people. This is going to end up being a 4-part series, and we're going to spread it apart.
Yeah, so it'll be a 4-parter, and we'll chop them up like every
Can you already guess?
month or so. Do you have a favorite line?
This is not my favorite line, but I think maybe it's obscure enough that if you don't know what we're talking about, you won't know it. And detailed enough that if you do know what we're talking about, you're going to be tickled. And it's, "Oi with the poodles already." Oi.
Any guesses, guys? It is a television series.
It's just a television series, not a movie.
I feel like even just saying it's a television series, people are going to be like, oh,
I got it.
yeah.
I got it.
Well, we're really excited. I think y'all are going to
This is one of those where when people were sending us ideas on Instagram, it was like every other idea was this. And so it's not that we're caving.
We love it.
We love it. And
it's just a big one to go after, I feel like.
Yeah. And so Elena said, what if we did 2 seasons per episode, which I thought was brilliant. And that's the reason why you're in marketing, girl.
Thank
and
you.
not your MOM over here. You're just fantastic. And I got to say, if you were in a pageant, I would vote for you.
I would so vote for
you.
you.
You would so vote for me?
Yes.
Is there like a grandma
I'm
America?
sure there is, actually. I feel like I've heard of that.
Okay, well, then I'm going to need
There's
you to pop one out.
Remember
so
on
I can...
Designing Women, Bernice did her nursing homes pageant.
Do I have to wait until I'm in assisted living?
No, we'll do it. We'll find something.
All right.
But I did want to tell a quick story before we jump. Mm-hmm. This one goes out to our sweet Luke and Jake. Because when they first met, Mom, how old were they when they first met you?
Oh, my gosh. I want to say I was 22, so they would have been
Like 7.
like
or
7 and 8 or something like that. These
I-
are my nephews.
I love this story because I think y'all were either just married or dating, but they
Yeah,
had
we-
met Mom and they were like, "Are you Miss America?" So when she says, "Oh, I wouldn't have been pretty enough to be," no, I'm gonna put a picture up in the video of how hot this mama
they were
used
7
to be.
and 8. Come on.
But still, I love that story and their listeners, so I wanted to say that for them.
Nerds, but
She's
I love
beauty
you.
and she's grace.
Hey, she's Miss United States.
What's your
What,
pageant
baby?
name?
Oh, my pageant name. You know what I was thinking? I want something like where it's spelled wrong.
Yeah.
Like
a Y instead of
heard
an I.
this- I heard this recently where it's Theresa instead of Teresa.
Oh gosh.
So I'm thinking like something like Theresa Thorngood.
Oh.
Because I like the alliteration
Uh-huh.
of it because I've always done. Should I just do it now? Let's just do it now.
She has a little party trick she's going to do for you guys. Well, you can see it on TikTok too.
I used to do this for my friends because they'd say, "Do it, Kira, do it." And I go, "My name's Kira Whitman from Tuscaloosa, Alabama."
She's so good at that.
I'd never been to Tuscaloosa, but I just like the way it sounded.
It rolls
and
off
that's
the
how
tongue.
they used to do their heads back in the day. They'd be like, "Oh, get in there, Tuscaloosa, Alabama." Yeah. So we'll leave that with you for tonight.
That's what we leave you with.
We live. Yeah. What?
That's what we leave you with.
That's what we
Tuscaloosa,
leave you with.
Alabama.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Enjoy your bubble bath, painting your nails.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Girls Night.